This video is going to take a look at some of the things we can use to describe or talk about a graph, but more broadly it's describing behaviors of functions. We're just going to be looking at them specifically in the context of graphs. So jumping right into it, the first thing that we're going to look at is the difference between kind of increasing and decreasing behavior. So increasing behavior is, or we have a function is increasing when the derivative of that function is greater than 0. Or in other words, the function, the value of the function gets bigger as x increases. So this is your kind of classic, if the function is going quote unquote up, it's increasing because what's happening is the output is getting bigger as x gets bigger. Conversely, we have a function is decreasing when the first derivative, or the rate of change of the function, is less than 0. That is written completely wrong. Let me fix that. When the output is less than, let me double check on the previous one. Yeah, okay. In other words, the value of the function gets smaller as x gets bigger. And this looks like a function that's going quote unquote downwards because the output gets smaller as the x gets larger. Next, we're going to look at the idea of critical points. This is going to come up later, so we'll cross that out. Critical points are locations where f prime of x is equal to 0 or undefined. So anywhere that the derivative is equal to 0 or the derivative is undefined, that is known as a critical point. Here's some examples of critical points. So you've got this first one where the slope is 0, pretty straightforward. You've got this second one where it's undefined because it's got that sharp point. A third example where it's undefined. At this point here, you do have a critical point because the slope temporarily goes to 0. You also have a critical point here because the slope temporarily goes vertical. All of these are examples of critical points because the slope is either 0 or undefined. Critical points will identify all the, I've changed these notes, so let me fix that. All locations where behavior might change from positive to negative, or vice versa. So you can only change the increasing or decreasing behavior at a critical point. So they could be a peak, they could be a valley, or it could be, like we saw before, a place like this where it is neither a peak nor a valley. But they're all examples of places that, they're examples of places where it could change but doesn't necessarily have to. So that's what we're looking at. Again, the summary is that critical points occur where the first derivative is 0 or undefined. The first derivative, when it is greater than 0, it's telling you increasing. When it's less than 0, it's telling you decreasing.